Obama. Michelle. Hey. Hey, everybody. How's it going? From the south side of Chicago. Single parent. Michelle. Hey. And Michelle's brother. What's your name again? Ah. Obama. Yeah. I don't know where Biden is. I don't know where Biden is. But the one thing that I do know is the one thing I do know, though, is our young people, they have a level of enthusiasm and hope. Hope. Not faith. Hope is the thing that you want to hold on to. Okay? So, Craig, clean it up. Clean it up. Michelle's carrying this thing. Obama, everybody's favorite uncle. Everybody's favorite uncle. We all seen this coming a mile away. It was really just a matter of time before it was only a matter of time. Shout out to my dog Slimmy. It was only a matter of time before he eventually appeared on Michelle's podcast with her brother Craig on the IMO podcast. And so we are going to explore it in two parts. We're going to break this down into two parts, ladies and gentlemen. The first part is obviously the beginning and them trying to, what looks like and what everybody is saying is that they're trying to quell the divorce rumors. All right. They're trying to quell the divorce rumors. So I am going to first explore it from that lens. And this is Michelle, Craig, and Big O. Let's take a look.
This woman came up to me and she was so nice. She was like, "Can I have a picture?" Yeah.
I will say that I did watch a lot of this, most of it, because I wanted to be prepared. And I will say that Craig's alien-shaped head, this is Craig. This is Michelle's brother. Craig's alien-shaped head really did a lot of talking this episode. He's really inserted himself. And I guess the people behind the scenes are saying, Michelle is taking all of the shine. We want to bring Craig in a little bit. Craig decided that he wanted to really, really assert himself this episode during the Obama episode, which I found interesting. So anyways, we're going to fast forward to the part where she basically introduces and brings in Obama. I don't know which part that is. Let me see exactly. There he is. Obama. Hey, guys.
Very special. Someone near and dear.
This is the episode that everyone's been waiting for.
Because?
With bated breath. Because we have my brother-in-law, your husband,
my man,
the former president of the United States.
He made time in his busy schedule
he's
to
just
come on
so
IMO.
busy.
We are just so grateful. We have the former president of the United States. We are honored
to have Barack.
I will say about Michelle that the one thing that people cannot take away from her is she does have a level of intelligence and she does speak clearly. She is not in the same space as a lot of our ghetto boos that's a part of our community. I may not necessarily agree with a lot of the takes and the things that she says, but I will tell you that she does speak very well and she speaks clearly. She speaks very well and she speaks clearly. I have to lead with a compliment before we start the deep dive into this show. All right. Always give a compliment before you give a criticism.
Obama join us.
Barack Obama, can you join us on
Come
our
on
set?
out here, brother.
Welcome to IMO. Look at you, Kitty.
How are you?
Wait, you guys like each other?
Oh yeah, really, huh?
That's so
the
nice,
rumor
man.
mill. It's my husband, y'all.
She took me back.
Now don't start.
I can't.
It was touch and go for a while.
It's so nice to have you both in the same room
I
together.
know.
I know, because when we aren't, folks think we're divorced.
Let me tell you. First of all, see, I I'm I'm in Wichita, Kansas for Austin's tournament. And this podcast has made me quite popular.
You're big shot.
Famous.
And people come up to me all the time. This woman came up to me and she was so nice. She's like, "Can I have a picture?" Yeah. And then, so you know how you get the side hug? And she's like, "What did he do?"
And you knew she was going to say what he did.
And I was like,
it wasn't like, what happened to him?
That is so
It was like,
terrible.
how'd he mess up?
And I said, "Well, what makes you think he messed up? Why couldn't it have been
why
her?"
did you just say no one messed up?
Well, because I wanted to keep this conversation going so that I could tell you about it.
Oh, Lord.
I was like, what? And she's like, "He did something, didn't he?" I was like, don't worry, everything's fine. And let me tell you, she was so happy, you would have thought I gave her a Christmas gift.
These are the kinds of things that I just miss, right? So I don't even know this stuff's going on.
Right.
And then somebody will mention it to me, and I'm all like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
There hasn't been one moment in our marriage where I thought about quitting my man. And we've had some really hard times, so we have had a lot of fun times, a lot of adventures, and I have become a better person because of the man I'm married to.
Okay, don't make me cry now. Right at the beginning of the show.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Don't let me start tearing up now.
And welcome to IMO.
Welcome to IMO. Get you all teared up. See, but this is why I can't talk. See, you can take the hard stuff, but when I start talking about the sweet stuff, you're like, stop, no, I can't do it.
I love it. I'm enjoying it.
But thank you, honey, for being on our show. Thanks for making the time. We got, as
you guys
Craig
are doing
said, we
good.
got a great.
So you've been listening.
Of course, I've been listening.
Yeah. What? Any tips?
it.
Any observations?
Craig can tighten up a little bit.
All right, so let me give my assessment of everything, and it'll actually probably be a little bit different than everybody else's assessment. I believe that and this is one of the reasons. I'm going to slow roll this for like a little bit, right? This is one of the reasons why I try to be a little bit more. This is one of the reasons why I try to be a little less talkative on after hours. Because you guys hear me all day, right? You hear me Monday through Friday. You hear me on Monday nights. You hear me on Millionaire Morning Show. You hear me on my reaction videos. You hear me on my vlog. You hear me giving my thoughts on all of these subjects all the time. So when I then alley-oop it and I'm asking you guys for grace, okay, on after hours, when I alley-oop it over to my friends on after hours and then I throw in a little bit here or there, I want to get all of the rest of the 6, 7 people that is it 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, whatever. All of the people, I want to get everybody else's opinion before I speak. So I usually try to, in most subjects, let other people communicate so they can get their thoughts off, because y'all hear me talk about this type of stuff all day long. So a lot of people already know what I'm going to say. Now, my honest opinion is this. I'm going to speak about a couple things and then I'm going to go over to the next subject because I want to break this down into 2 parts. The first thing is their marriage, right? Quelling rumors of a divorce. Michelle Obama and Barack Obama will never get divorced, no matter what they're going through, no matter who's doing what, no matter what y'all opinion is, and no matter how angry people get. The fact is, and you can see it here, it doesn't matter if they like each other, if they don't like each other, they will never get divorced. Presidents don't get divorced in the modern era. We could talk about it. We can go back and forth about it. We can make jokes about it. We can do reaction videos to the rumors. But here is the truth. Some people don't get divorced. It's just the way that it is. However you want to frame it. And I don't even think that this should be a huge thing, because white people and people in popular culture do this all the time. This is not new. Some people are so intertwined in popular culture with how it is that people see them and how it is that they have to intersect in their business lives and their images and how they present themselves. And this is also one of the cons if, and I don't know what the dynamics of their relationship is, if they actually don't like each other, or if they decide that they didn't want to be together anymore, they're going to be together for the rest of their life, because you can't have Barack without Michelle. It's just the way that it is. That's the way that it is. That's the way of life. When you become a culture popular figure, if you decide that you want to become a politician, you got to make all your decisions early, because everything that you do after that is set in stone. This is just the way that it is. It's the way that it got to go. They're never getting divorced. No matter what you say, no matter how we play it, no matter what our opinion is, no matter what we think, they're not getting divorced. It's not a thing. It's not ever going to happen. Do I believe that they are still in a relationship? 100%. Do I believe that they're happy 100% of the time of the relationship? 100%. Do I think that they maybe have some alternative arrangements in order for them to ensure that they show up with each other every once in a while? Or, he's probably business, or in an alternative arrangement don't even necessarily mean that you're talking to anybody else. It could mean that he's spending the majority of his time on the road doing his thing, and spending the majority of her time trying to find herself, which is one of the reasons she got a podcast now. And then maybe they come together and they still cool, or they maybe still, I don't even like to say having sex, but they married, so they have sex or whatever. They may see each other once every couple weeks, and then they may whatever, so on and so forth, right? But I believe that even in regular relationships, as you get older, I don't believe that people spend as much time together. I think that people start to really discover the things that they want to do separately from the person that they're busy with, in addition to the things that they used to be together all the time for, which is raising the children, building a wealth, building a legacy, doing all of this. But as you continue to expand, I don't think that your identity personally is directly tied to the person. When your kids get out the house, especially if you have resources, now you start to get back to discovering the thing that made you great in the first place. For a man, it could be speeches. In Obama's case, chasing this, trying to be successful, building a business, whatever. For her, she could be wanting to discover herself and go back to school, or, start a podcast like Michelle Obama did, or whatever, so on and so forth. But the fact of the matter is, the relationship is no longer going to be defined by how close y'all got to spend the majority of y'all time together for kids and whatever it is that else y'all was doing. And when it becomes public figures like these people, like a president and all of that, no, I don't think that they're ever going to get divorced. I don't. I don't believe that they're ever going to get divorced. That's my opinion. I do think that they are still together, and I don't believe that they spend as much time with each other, and that clearly is a thing. And I think that I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it at all. The other part that I want to have a conversation about is his presidency. I personally, I don't have a problem with Obama's presidency. I don't. I believe that black people had an expectation that this guy was going to do something for them, and he never promised y'all that he was going to do anything for y'all separately anyway. I was old enough to remember what it was like in 2008, because I was solidly in my 20s. I was 26 years old, and I was a voter. I was going through some stuff, and I was able to live through a solid chunk of my younger adult life through 8 years of Obama. And I'm not necessarily mad at his presidency, because it's some things that he did right. It's some things that he got right that I absolutely agreed with. He was tough on illegal immigration into this country, in which his predecessor, Biden, was not. He was very tough. I will say that he worked with the automakers in order to save the auto industry that Bush had absolutely ruined. Now, you also got to take into consideration that the expectations for me personally, even though for black people it was high, for me the expectations was low because we had just came off of the Bush era. And to mention the Obama era without the Bush era would be like mentioning the Trump era without the Biden era. You can't separate the two because one was the predecessor for the other, which we then used to judge the next person that came out of it. So if I'm comparing Obama to Bush the second, I'm taking Obama all day, every day. If you take me back in time and you say, Anton, you either got to vote for, and they both running at the same time, you got to vote for Bush the second or Obama. I'm voting for Obama 10 times out of 10. As a Republican, as a conservative, I would vote for Obama 10 times out of 10 versus voting for Bush the second as a Republican. Bush the second, in my opinion, is probably one of the worst. And Biden is getting up there, but I'm never going to put Biden above Bush the second because Bush made sure that everybody was broke. Bush didn't just make sure his friends got rich. He made sure everybody was broke. Somebody said both terrible. Nope. Obama wasn't great. Bush was terrible. Listen, there's levels to this. There's levels to this. Bush was terrible. And if I have to compare one to the other, I will tell you that Obama is light years ahead of what Bush was. And Obama was necessary at the time. And I hate to be saying this, but I have to be objective. He didn't do some of the things that I would advocate for a smart president to do. He definitely left us with the legacy of Obamacare. He definitely left us with the legacy of the LGBTQ community. It was a lot of things that he left on the table. However, he was handed a piece of a trash can. He was handed the worst possible situation that any president in my lifetime has ever had to face. And I have to add that into the conversation. Bush the second, bro, y'all had to be alive. You had to be alive. From 2000 to 2008, good God. That 2000 I graduated in high school. By 2008, I was moving back into my mama's basement. Good God. Lord have mercy. Everybody ain't had no job. Ain't no what you no economy? Oh, Jesus Christ. Economy? Boy. Let me tell you something. Time changes all history and heals all wounds. But I'm trying to tell you, bro. Look, see, David says Obama as an LGBTQ president, right? Agreed. We don't disagree on that. But let me tell you what doesn't matter when you broke. What your sexuality is. The last thing that we was thinking about was gay rights. We was trying to figure out how we was going to feed ourselves. And that largely came on the backs of Bush II. Nobody cares about what people doing in their bedroom. That is a privilege that we have the opportunity to talk about today. Nobody cares what somebody doing in their bedroom when everybody is broke. When ain't nobody got no jobs and everybody trying to figure out how they going to eat tomorrow. Nobody cares. That is something that we in hindsight can look at and say, man, that's messed up that he championed and advocated for some of the worst things when it came to our culture, especially as far as the alphabet community. But in the time living it, bro, we was trying to survive. We was trying to figure out how to get some money. The job market in the United States of America was a nightmare. Y'all don't realize how bad it was in 08, bro. As a 43-year-old man, 2008 was worse than anything I've ever seen in my entire life. Some people say, yo, Anton, would you ever go back to your 20s? Never, ever, 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 ever would I go back to my 20s. Never. Ever. It was the worst. 07, 8, 9. Bruh. Bruh. You don't know, man. You don't know, bro. You don't know, bro. You really don't know. People were killing themselves. People were killing themselves because they lost everything. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. People was losing everything. And people were straight up jumping off of buildings at that time. The San Francisco Bridge had some of the highest suicide rates in history. It was bad, bro. It was so bad. So bad. Oh my God. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, bro. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was so bad. I ain't never seen no junk like that before. I seen it was people in pantry lines, the food lines, jobs was the jobs was getting eliminated by the hundreds of thousands and the millions every single month. Every single month, bro. No, it's not a lot of people that was alive that was out. You got to remember, bro, it's people that's watching this live stream that's 30 years old, for example, 27, 28, 29, 30 years old, which means that they wasn't even out of high school. Some of them wasn't even out of middle school. Some of them wasn't even out of middle school. I'm not even sure some of y'all was even out of elementary school. A lot of people wasn't, they don't know. They were protected by their parents who was going through it. Telling you, bro, it was bad. It was bad. So I don't have a problem with Obama's presidency per se. I don't agree with a lot of the things that happened during his presidency, but I think that he was handed us some trash, bro. He was handed some trash. He was, bro. It was bad.